Hey everyone, I'm live here with KDPenn, and she is a bro culture disruptor and leadership strategist. I'm super excited to hear from you today, Katie. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here. I appreciate the time to share with you and talk.
Absolutely. So, the first thing that I always ask is to just tell us what you do and how you help people.
Yeah, so I do still work full time in tech as a software engineering manager, but that's kind of what spurred my desire to branch out on my own and start something specific to helping other tech founders and CEOs that are interested in a diverse pool of talent truly retain that talent, not hire it and then watch those people leave after a year or two.
I love that. So, what was really your background into getting into that and knowing that you wanted to be an entrepreneur as well?
Oh, the entrepreneurial blood started young. I opened my first business at 16 in high school.
Oh, wow. What was your first business?
I convinced them to clean out the old gym storage closet and let me run it as a coffee shop with
That's
the little,
fantastic.
yeah. So it was early mornings. I had to be there at like 5 a.m., fresh donuts, make the coffee,
Oh my
set up.
gosh. I bet you made
Yep.
bank. I bet all the kids were like loving that.
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah. And that's what started that, like, this is amazing. I
Yeah.
love. And then life happened.
Of
And
course.
it took me on a different journey. But I never expected to work in tech, and I've absolutely loved it my whole career. But being a woman in tech, I've had to go through so many crazy stories. I mean, I share some of the really lighthearted, almost comical ones, and people's drop their jaws like, what? Somebody said that to you? And
You're like, that's not even.
that's not even the stuff that like deserves HR being involved, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but not just what stood out as being uh, a minority in the industry, but also it has been an amazing career. I mean, my family, they never made good money. We were poor growing up. I never even understood that tech had the kind of possibilities that it does. So it allowed me to provide for my family. And then it also allowed me to support my kids as a single mom and took one less concern off my plate. I didn't have to worry about my pay. I didn't have to worry about benefits. I didn't have to worry about the flexibility when I was the sole provider. And so to me, it's not just that tech benefits from all of this diverse talent, because that's scientifically proven. There's
Right.
research galore on that. But it's that people benefit from it as well. People that maybe have a completely different background than Joe Schmo, who went straight to a 4-year college after high school because he had a supportive family and college was encouraged. And I didn't have that. I didn't finish college until 2 years ago.
And that actually helped you in your interview, right? You told me that story.
Yeah, it was because I was driven. I didn't need a college degree to learn something, and I didn't need a college degree to advance at a job, but a lot of jobs think that you do. And so that was that comment that allowed me to get an interview, even though I had no degree and my background was in healthcare. And I mean, the rest is history. It's been an amazing journey.
I love that. So can you dig a little deeper into really the passion that's driving you to help tech companies be more diverse?
Yeah. We see the big things. They've done market research. There's the stories about how a lack of diversity gives us a product that is lackluster. The big ones, are the facial recognition, the voice recognition, that they completely failed to account for anything but the stereotype of a tech employee. But I think that on the flip side of that is the nuances that happen every day inside of these tech companies, the little decisions that get made that are skewed because everyone in the room kind of has the same background and the same perspectives and the same ideas, and they read the same articles. So it's not just the end big product that shifts when you have a diverse team, but it's the little things that happen if you have a culture that can support conflictual ideas. And that's a big if. And that's where bro culture comes in. Bro culture, by definition, doesn't support conflictual ideas. And so they can't retain that talent, because especially when you look at the millennials, right? I mean, even my generation, I technically am an old millennial.
Elder millennial.
Yeah. Even my generation, we want to do work that we are valued in. And millennials have that even stronger. And so if you bring them in and you give them no voice and you give them no room to contribute and change the culture or change the traction of your product, they're going to leave. I mean,
so even when you get that diverse talent, you're not retaining it. And that's an even bigger money waster, right? Because you spend so much time and money training people, and then
yeah, so much money and time, and yeah, just the churn. It's painful.
Yeah. So, and I love that your approach is, it's not about shaming, people for maybe having had a bro culture. You tend to work with tech founders and CEOs who are really, they want to see a change. They want to do better. They maybe just don't know how or where to start. And you have kind of a framework for that, right?
Yeah, exactly. We walk them through several pieces of it, because it's not, psychological safety is the big buzzword right now, but you don't get psychological safety without this entire ecosystem that goes into that. And a lot of people want it, but they don't know how to do it. They can't do it by themselves. I mean, they're busy getting funding, keeping their product, at the front lines of the market. They're distracted by a million other things. And my approach is that it's impossible for any one person to make this kind of change. So I come alongside the entire company, because it exists within every individual. And that's kind of my stance on leadership, right? You're a CEO. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a leader. Leadership is an action. It's not a title, and it's not authority. You need authority, but you also need leadership, and you need leadership at every level of your organization. And the perk to that is it takes a lot off of the CEO and founder's shoulders, because the ship, everyone starts steering the ship. It's not just them behind the helm.
So what have been some of the biggest struggles or challenges so far since you've launched this new focus?
It's just putting myself out there. That's the biggest hurdle. I am open in relational conversations, but I am not a public out there on social media, share my life with everybody. I'm anti-social media, really. So it's been a huge hurdle to try to start putting myself out there. And I believe in being my full weird self, with all of my quirks and all of my humorous, sarcastic remarks, which don't always translate in black and white, but, and all of my flaws too, right? I come with my own experiences and my own biases. None of us walk around without them. And so I try to own that. I try to be very upfront, which is weird on a public platform like LinkedIn, where everyone could go to my profile and read everything I've ever posted. So
yeah, I was going to say that you've taken the approach that you really are honing in on one platform, on LinkedIn, right? Can you talk a little bit about that, your decision?
Yeah, it took me like a year to even find that platform. You can put a website out there, but unless you're driving traffic to it, nobody knows. And so I created all those handles for all those social media platforms that I've never used. Like, I have a Facebook account so my family can see pictures of my kids, and that's really about it. But I never could even get myself to post anything. So I had the handle, but I hate it so much I couldn't even take that step. So by fluke, we had a branding session, and they focused on LinkedIn and that platform. And I challenged myself to just try it. Experiment for a few months, see what it felt like to be on the platform, to engage in the type of conversations happening on LinkedIn. I thought that LinkedIn was probably the same as Facebook plus job searches. I really wasn't sure. I've had a profile for 20 years. I've never touched it.
Like most people, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, lo and behold, I mean, these are the kind of conversations that I love having. I mean, there's still the crazies every once in a while, but they're talking about real things. They're talking about things that make us better as people. They're talking about things that make us better as leaders, that challenge us, that help us grow. And so it felt very natural and very easy to engage in that way. And so that's when I was like, all right, I found my platform.
Yay.
I can do this. I don't have to, force myself to engage on this, which is a big factor, something that comes a little easier than social media.
I love that. So what would you say makes you unique in, how you're approaching this problem that the tech founders and CEOs have that they want to solve?
Yeah, well, I think, one, my background is drastically different than pretty much anyone else I meet. Even the little things, like my family took care of mentally handicapped adults growing up. I literally lived in a home with them. I don't know anyone else that has that kind of background. But besides that, a lot of people that engage with companies to do what I do, they're an HR background, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. They just have a different approach than I do. I have 15 years in the trenches trying to do the work. I am anti-theoretical. At the core of my being, I do not like to talk about theories unless I'm starting an experiment, and then I come in with a theory. But I want the practical application of things. I want to know, what does it look like? How do you do it? What are the results? And so that's really what my work focuses on, is engaging at a very practical level with who they are, where they are, and where they want to go.
I think that's great, because so often people just learn and learn and learn and absorb information, but they don't ever actually do anything with that information. And I think that's where a lot of people are at. They've become more knowledgeable about making a company diverse, but are they actually doing it? So I love that differentiator.
Yeah.
So you're also a mom, and like you said, you have a full-time job as well, and a partner. So what does work-life self-care alignment look like for you?
Oh, for me, it's slow and steady. I really have to let go. I don't believe in the hustle. My body rejected that years ago. It literally won't even allow me to hustle.
Yeah.
So it means that I'm not out to build some crazy big business. I'm not out to go get rich. And eventually I would like to quit my day job. So there does have to be some income, but it's really just about, how can I work in a way that's realistic and sustainable? If my schedule looks like this on Monday, can it look like that on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then again the following week? So I use my calendar a lot to keep. I'm an optimist. I think I can do anything. My calendar keeps me honest. So
You're like, there's actually only this many slots in a day.
Yes. So I don't do to-do lists, but I do use my calendar to say, this is what I need to get done, and I think it's going to take me this long. And it goes on my calendar. Sometimes it takes less time, but if I can't fit it on there, it means I'm not going to do it for the day, because I'm not going to sacrifice my, after school is really our family time. And so for that chunk of time, I do my best to not engage in work stuff, and focus on my kids during that time. And I go to bed early, so nothing happens after they go to bed either. And it just, to be honest. Yeah.
Good boundaries. Well, so you're a newbie, pretty brand new, but how do you feel that the Hive has helped you personally or professionally so far?
I have loved it. Networking is awkward, to say the least. But I have felt like the processes in place to just get to meet other bees, as we call them, has felt very natural. And everyone's been insanely helpful. The mastermind and just bouncing ideas off of each other. You're networking, but you're doing it in a way where everyone's helping each other, which is really the whole point of having my business. It's not, obviously my focus from an income perspective is in tech, but the more I can help, especially in the community, I want to see Wichita grow and thrive. And that means businesses and money and things building our community here. So it's been a great fit for me and my business and what I like to do.
Love that. So what insight might you give to somebody who was at the beginning of the journey that you're just a little further down the road in?
I could not do this without support, like the emotional support, the physical support, having some clear boundaries, because I think that's the hardest part is there's so many things you have to do and you want to hurry up and get them done. And it's pretty much impossible. And then you hit the burnout, and then you stall for 3 months until you regain your energy and start all over again. So it's really,
if you were just slow and steady, then you wouldn't ever have that, right? That's kind of the approach.
Yes, but that's the
approach, the goal.
Yeah, I think that's the wisdom though that comes with, the end of your 30s.
Yeah, that's so true. I know I've had all of those in my life where it's like just go, and then okay, and I'm done for a while.
Yep. Ditto. Me too. That's why it's a hard lesson, and I had to learn it many times before I finally figured it out.
Still learning it.
Yep.
So how can we help you, the bees? And is there anything that you have coming up that we need to know about?
I'm getting ready to launch some live workshops. Hopefully the first one in October. I'd love, really just feedback, even though maybe they don't have experience in tech, crazy smart people that can just keep making my skills better and the way that I present what I want to say, because sometimes what makes sense in my head doesn't come out and make sense to anybody else. So just that feedback and candor, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and you can work with anybody in the world, right? You will work with clients digitally as well. So if they know founders or CEOs, even in other states or countries, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's been the huge perk of COVID is that all of us had to transition to this digital virtual world. And so it's opened up a lot of doors to engage across time zones and other countries.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Katie, for joining me today. Any last minute words? Anything?
No, just thank you. It's an amazing community. I really appreciate it. And it's been a more natural way to network than I had hoped. So.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much. And you have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thanks.